Well, it's a beautiful day outside, Pete.
Yeah, we're back, man.
Talking Sports is on a roll again. Greg Selber, Pete Pettis.
Halfway.
Halfway, a little bit, almost
Yeah.
more. We're sitting here trying to figure out something that's been troubling both of us. Just what the targeting rule is. Because we're seeing some people penalized for things that used to be considered good football, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's trickling down from the professional level. You know, it started with concussions and stuff like that. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, you can't lead with your crown anymore.
See, here's the thing. You mean like, where's the crown? Up here? Hit like this?
About right here.
We used to call that spearing, and there's always been a penalty of personal foul if you try to hurt somebody like that. But, where's the crown end and the other begin? I mean, in other words, you're taught, I don't care what people will tell you, that's how you hit. You know what I mean? Now, if you try to hit someone with a shoulder, you're going to break your neck, man. Try to hit Ricky Rodriguez with a shoulder. You better be three people's shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Crown.
So where's the line draw? And people are getting tossed. I mean,
yeah,
it'll change. You know, I saw, as a matter of fact, I saw someone get tossed this week. I've seen someone from, I think it was McHi, get tossed. I mean, they're just getting tossed.
You know, the funny thing is that I guess
Sorry, it was the Bears.
Bears.
Yeah.
I think it's a safety thing, and it's trying to keep kids from trying to hurt one another. But when you play football, one of the things is intimidation, and you gotta punish, you gotta hurt the other team. So I think that we may have to kind of take a step back from this rule, because I saw a kid from Vela make the best block in the history of the world on a turnover, and everybody went bananas, and we were so excited. And it turned out he got a 15-yard penalty, and it's like, well, that's what you teach the kid to do. Targeting. So it's not like, I was supposed to say targeting. What are you supposed to do? Like convince them to go down, negotiate with them while they're running? Please go down. You got to hit somebody.
There might be something involved. Maybe, in the trenches, a referee will see something where they had a little bickering, maybe, or I don't know. I mean, that does need to get figured out, because to begin with, you play a violent sport.
You hit people. That's what you do.
That's part of the game. So.
I was thinking, the referees sometimes, they don't have to call a double penalty. They can just kind of throw the flag, tell people to stop, and then move on and say, oh, there was no foul. Yeah. That sends the warning that they're about to call it more tight. I just think the rule itself is part and parcel of what's going on in this country today, man, without getting into a political soapbox.
Yeah, sure.
Lawsuits, health-obsessed, perfectibility. We have to have it right. It's perfect. One more rule will do it.
And that's what it comes down to.
One fewer.
Lawsuits.
Sure, it's liability, and I hate to say that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Somebody gets hurt, then Hey, bottom line is, the kids that made them plays, it's worth 15 yards.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get thrown out, it's worth 15 yards. A coach will know if somebody's trying to hurt somebody and do the wrong thing, and they'll get them out. 99% of the time, I promise you. The refs don't have to be doing this, because what we're doing is we're taking a little molehill, making it a mountain. We're taking a jackhammer on a 10-penny nail, and it's just one of those things that I predict will go away in a couple years, because it don't make no sense.
I don't know. I have to disagree, because I really don't think it'll go away, because
it's going to be entrenched.
It's going to get people on the NFL level. Those lawsuits are going to get settled.
The pessimist in us
and
make
it's
us
going to
think
be a lot of money. I mean, and that's what it boils down to at the end. The money that's going to be involved.
So you think that our human nature is being reformed by these rules and and acting us to act in a certain way? Yeah. Kids are going to start getting hurt if they don't know how to hit someone. You mark my words. And that's the last I'll say of it. I think you're right, though. It probably won't. I hope it will, but I probably won't. It'll probably be here forever.
Well, anyway, let's get to these games.
Let's target the games. I always have to have a soapbox once a year.
Speaking of targeting, Vela targeted EHS pretty well.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I think a lot of people were surprised at that denouement. Bottom line is this. While I was watching the game and watching the EHS stands drain out in the third quarter, I thought to myself, regardless of who wins or loses, it's always kind of poignant to see a great dynasty take a hit. Yeah. All right, now we're talking about a team that has been playing since 1920 as the Edinburg Bobcats. 1953, they won 11 games, won a playoff game, which at that point, if you did that, you're amazing. They had that great run in the 80s, where they went 3 deep 3 years in a row. They played Churchill, Judson, and they competed. That was one of the best football. That football team of Richard Flores was as good as the Harlingen team of the last 4 or 5 years. They may not have gone as far. They didn't win that third round game, but they were playing against all first or second place teams. So back then, only 2 teams made the playoff. Edinburg was cold-blooded. They were the team in the 80s, man. They won 90-some games, 99 games. They had that run, 98, 99. So my point is, the long-winded recital of all the neat things, is that I don't think it'll ever be the same in a way, and that really kind of bums me out. I mean, no matter whether you're a fan of North, Economedias, or whoever, the fact is, that was the town team for 70 years or more. And so, 70 years. And so to see it kind of in disarray, or at least, taking some licks like that is tough. Yeah. That was my soliloquy for the day. That was not designed to be pro or con. It's just that, in the big picture of Edinburg, the city, in football, that's what there was before the others came.
It's just another moment in their history.
Right.
Yeah.
And the history now evolves in a four-ply. You know, you got all four teams, and that I love. But then, so to give a pay honor and an ode to the Bobcats is not to say that I don't want the other teams to win. It's not that at all. I think I've proven that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Now we have Vela beating the old guard and moving on in their place, man. To an extent, it's already happening in some other sports. We're going to see the Bobcats will be heard from again before the season's over because they had played so well up leading to that game.
And they going 2 weeks back. They played a great game against
They almost beat North, and now they get killed by that. So that's 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
And Vela seized the moment of the tension and the passion of the day and just turned it instantly, man. Everything they did went well. Edinburg had a lot of time to throw. Hinato ran well. The defense was great. The only thing that bothers me is that Hinato's got a nagging injury. He's so tough. He don't care. He's not going to come out unless you drag him with one of those vaudeville hooks, you know. But he's, they got Donna this week, and so he's going to have to run hard. Man, he's going to be getting.
They got Donna, who is hungover from another shutout by Edinburg North.
Like in a cartoon, ding, ding, ding. All these zeros go up.
You know, I was at that game. I was on the sidelines, and I spent the majority of the game on the Donna side just to see.
Which is usually a crazy place, right?
And that place by the third quarter was completely quiet. You could literally hear the crickets, and you're just like, man, this is it's kind of weird. It was weird feeling like that at that kind of stadium.
At a Donna game because they're always nuts, man.
Even if they're
injured,
I mean, their team's down, they're still
they're brutal, man.
And and at the end there.
So what does that tell you?
That Edinburg North is really good.
Right.
And the reason they're really good is because their fourth quarter play is excellent.
Yeah?
Yeah. Donna was going to go get one, and you thought North was going to give up a little mercy one.
Right.
That did not happen. They picked that quarterback off, and
they slammed the door.
Yeah, they slammed the door. And, right after the game, they were shaking hands or whatever. I went up to the defensive coordinator, Signs, and I was just like, hey, man, that was a really good game, man. You almost gave one up there. He's like, man, these kids had a bitter taste in their mouth all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that Edinburg High game. So they're on a roll, man. And
yeah, they are. Yes, they are. Now,
both of these teams, I mean, North's got Palmview next.
Yeah, and on Thursday.
I really don't think, I'm sorry, but what are you going to say? Palmview's not up to par this year.
No, they haven't won a game. Here's the thing, man. You have a tendency to think, well, they can just rest their starter. If I'm a starter, I'm like, coach, don't take me. I need to get 100 by about third quarter, and then you can take me out.
Yeah,
I'm going to get my stuff.
Yeah,
but there's going to be a lot of kids play a lot of minutes for North, and that's great because you need that. You need to keep kids interested. It's nice when you're winning and everybody's cool. We're on the same page. But, man, the kids got to play some, too, and this is a perfect night before the big time to let those kids play some and develop some depth. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, it works, and it's homecoming on Thursday.
Oh, great.
So, and then Vela's, like we were saying, has Donna, and that's homecoming, too. 2 homecomings at Cass this week.
That's neat. I think I rolled out the picture. Sorry. I get a little bit anxious. Speaking of homecoming, at the Bobcat game, I think it was 100 or 95 cheerleaders from the day. It was great. I got a ton of great pictures we're going to get up.
Nice.
And boy, gals from the 50s who had been cheerleaders in the 50s. And so that's another thing, another poignant thing. There's the history of the program, and then they beat 51 to nothing. EHS comes back against Sharyland. Now, you couldn't ask for a tougher assignment after getting beat 51 to nothing, but ... Hope springs eternal. Surely they're going to be like, you know what? Who cares? Let's go. And you just got to go.
Are they, though?
They better.
12 of 16, 2 touchdowns.
Chrysler's great, man.
8 different targets.
Oh, let's pick another quarterback, and he's all district, right? They have like 19 quarterbacks. Incredible. That's like the Redskins used to have. They
8
used to have
different targets.
Yeah. Big kids, so I can all run.
Christian Martinez, 3 receptions for 114 yards.
That guy's big.
Yeah.
He's real big. 83 yards. Bottom line is this. I don't think EHS is going to beat Sharyland, probably. But what they have to do is have an attitude game where they play as hard as they can and hit and don't get intimidated. In other words, go back to playing the defense they were playing.
Yeah.
I predict it'll be closer than people say.
Hopefully, that's what you want.
You have to be.
You
want
to go see a good football game.
Look,
and especially with Edinburg High, like you've been talking about, this history and what they have. They just can't let Sharyland just roll all over them like that. 2
words, Bobcat pride. They're not going to let that happen again. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you just run into a force that's immovable, and that's it. But I don't care what the score is. I want the attitude to be right because that team was really gelling and really coming together, and it just it fell apart against Vela. And you know what? They'll get it back. This is the quest. They will get it back. Okay, so North got Palmview, EHS at Sharyland. Who else? Economides is off. Okay, they had an average effort, but they won, and that's good. Right now, they take it.
It was a win, yeah, and they get the week off and rolling into the following week. I mean, what more could you ask for? You know,
they need to run the ball better, Pete. Yeah. They only had 32 carries for 75 yards, and that's not Jag football, man. That line has a lot of talent. The young kids, and they're coming along, but they need to mature quickly the next 4 weeks because they need to run the ball better. Anyone would want more than 75. They used to get 375.
They might be caught on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they might. Yeah. They could use a Donna win against Vela. What they could use because right now Vela and Econ are looking at each other 2-2 and 3-1. I never thought I'd be able to say Vela 3-1 like the second season. That in itself is amazing. If there's a better coach of the year candidate than Michael Salinas, I don't know who it is. Yeah. Unless it's your guy McHi. If they go undefeated, then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin Brewer, hey, look.
I mean, you know, I was having a conversation with someone, and you know, they were talking about, you know, the kids on the field obviously have the talent, but I mean, you get a coach in there, and he knows. A coach is good for. Let me put it to you like this: the Saints coach is good for a touchdown each game.
Yeah, apparently.
Each game he's good for a touchdown each game. Notice the difference in the year, a turnaround in the year from when he sat out the whole year, and now he's playing. Now he's in the sideline.
It's incredible. They're undefeated. Here's what I think. On that thought, when a coach gets in the huddle and he says stuff, do the kids listen to him or do they believe in him?
Yeah.
And there's a difference, man. So some teams, and it starts when the program starts.
Drinking the Kool-Aid, man.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the mantras are repeated each week when there ain't no games, where it's just practice, everybody's sweating their butts off. And so once you get to the key point, you'll be able to either summon your kids and get their attention or you won't. And Salinas right now has those kids' attention. They believe that they're a great football team. They just don't believe that they're okay. They believe they're a great football team. Against Donna, we will find out. Their tendency is to believe that the Sabercats are going to have that, you know, and stumble. What do you think? And not a prediction per se.
I think after what happened this week in Donna, this past week against North.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to fix some holes. You know what I mean? Having those picks hurt. I mean,
did they play both quarterbacks again?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. And
they got to pick one.
They do, and they for the most part it's Nash. Yeah, but
they do the Cowboy.
Yeah, and they stopped him. North crushed the poor kid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough. I mean, although Sola had a tough game.
Yeah, he didn't have much.
It was rough, man, and it's not looking good facing a hot team for a bounce back win. And
as long as Vela doesn't play like a second year team, because that's what people are saying. Wow, they're going to be too high. They got the big head. Maybe. I think that here's the thing that surprises me. Their line play is a lot better than I thought it would be. Coming into the season, I think a lot of people we didn't know a lot of their offensive linemen. They were struggled last year a little bit. They've been a good unit. And I haven't really mentioned that as much as I probably could, but having seen them enough times now to know, but I feel like that offensive line is looking pretty solid, and that's made them all the better. And having, of course, the quarterback, to me, and I said it before ad infinitum, I think he makes him a lot better because he's just a smart, gutty, winning kid.
I got you. I like Vela on the road. I mean, they're hot. I mean,
taking the points.
You gotta take it. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Donna is going to be angry.
Yeah.
And Vela is going to be high, and so I think it's going to be a wonderful football game. Playing on, where do they play? At home? So that's good. If they were playing at Donna, of course, as you said, the atmosphere was different last week. Hey, when a team is broken, when you know that it's over, it's hard to stay cheering. Yeah. Everybody wants to go home. I mean, it's too bad. I hope they don't. But it's such is life. All right, now let's go to the McAllen place because that's getting good too.
It is, and you were at a game on Thursday.
Wow, Memorial saved the season. Okay, I'm not saying they're gonna make the playoffs, but I think that right now they're well placed to get back into the hunt. They scored 68 points against PSJA Memorial. Everything they did worked right. Their defense was very solid. So now they got Roe and PSJ North. Those teams are 1-3 and 0-4. So realistically,
very winnable games.
Memorial can be 3-2 heading into the last gauntlet of the season, where they need 1 out of 3 to make it. Because I believe 4-4 is the magic count. The kid ran wonderfully. Here's what you don't want to do: give him holes if you're the defense. I mean, he wasn't hit, Pete. I promise you. I haven't, watched it over again, but I don't think he was hit more than 2 or 3 times, really, on those long runs. I mean, and he's incredible.
Where he was tackled.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, he was going through holes that 4 of the kid could fit through. I mean, they were amazing holes. PSJ Memorial played like they were wearing leg weights. I mean, they really, and I like that team. But they just didn't show up, man. And Memorial took it to them. 68 points for 48-10 at the half.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. The defense is good for Memorial. It's not bad at all.
What about Johnson and DJ Johnson and Jonathan Sanchez? Sorry. Yeah.
Those guys have good upside, as they say in the business, and the rate at which they can improve is going to determine how they do in them last 3 games. Because the way Johnson, he threw a great ball to DJ for a touchdown. He ran the quarterback sneak for 49 yards. No, they played great. They didn't throw at DJ but once or twice. But you don't need once or twice, any more than once or twice. Just send him down there and throw it up, and if it's close, he's going to get it.
Because he's tall.
And he can jump like crazy, man. There's no way you can defend him.
He's got mad
He's like Arguelles at Vela.
Yeah.
There's no way you can defend him. You just have to hope that he drops it, because he'll jump over you. That dude is a big receiver like that can run and jump. I mean, look at the NFL, right? They ain't no 5'9" guys anymore. Like Charlie Joyner, he'd be like, Yeah.
So Memorial, they're rolling.
Yeah, they do. They have Rowe next. I feel like Rowe almost had that game.
Yeah.
They were ahead, like
They were
21-7.
And it's tough. Right when we aired last week, they announced that
Yeah,
the quarterback was out.
And so what they do, they came out and played good anyway.
Exactly. Then as a sophomore, the kid's a sophomore. Can you imagine?
Bosques, right?
Yeah.
With a B?
Yeah.
De Burro?
Yeah. With a B at the beginning and a Z at the end. Yeah.
Bosques.
So
Trees, the forest.
I hope they can get it together. I mean, they're struggling. Their depth.
A wounded animal may strike out and lash out and
Yeah,
get
they
a
really
piece.
can. They really can.
City rivalry.
Yeah. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, it's going to be packed in McAllen, and you got to hope they come out, man.
Rowe's got to win because the 1-4 is not a death sentence, but it's putting you on death row.
It really is, man,
Yeah.
and especially in this district. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. And speaking of tough, PSJA has a tough client.
Yeah,
this
they
week,
do, man.
After East, they better watch out because next is McHi, and if you do the amount of turnovers you had against East, Ricardo Rodriguez is going to answer for every single
They're
one.
similar teams, our East and West Lakota, or East and McAllen, and we're going to find out how similar October 25th. Physical teams. There aren't that many physical teams left in the Valley, right? There are a lot of spread teams. You can be physical and run the spread, but it's just,
Yeah.
But McAllen is that type. East is that type. North is that type. Old-fashioned teams for the most part. Golly, man, McAllen, will they be rusty coming off a week? I doubt it. I doubt
don't
it.
think so at all.
They want to get back at it. They're excited.
Just like we were saying earlier, I mean, their coach, I'm sure, I do not doubt it one bit. He worked them as hard as he possibly could.
And gave him a couple of days, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. But Sus Navarro better watch out because he's going to have his hands full with the McHi D. That's all I can
It's a good
say
group.
about that one, man.
Memorial's defense, too, impressed me. I forgot to mention them, but there's a couple of guys. It's 54, Henry Falcone. A pretty good defensive lineman. I like him. They're kind of big up front, but not in the back. And 22, Osi Salazar, I think, a sophomore. He's not very big, but he'll get up there and hit you. They got Stites. They got Marriott's had a ton of tackles. Man, very quietly, he's just in on every tackle. I think Memorial's coming on. We're going to find out. They got to beat Rowe, beat PSJ North. They'll be 3-2, and the season will have been set.
Yeah. Another hot team, San Benito.
The wild card. Who would have counted San Benito at 3-1? They're right there. They're third, right?
Under the radar.
Yeah.
3-1 in district. You can't ask for anything better. Dylan Castillo had a great game. I mean, he had 2 picks, but I mean, nonetheless, he still had a good game.
He's been having a good senior season. I think there were some questions earlier about that, but no, he's playing well. Greyhounds are also getting big plays, man. Nathan Morellis is a great safety. He has been since a sophomore. Ran a punt back 61 yards for a touchdown right before the half. I mean, they scored twice right before the half on a 68-yard pass and a punt return. Yeah. When you make those big plays, you're going to beat the other team unless you're playing Judson.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what those big teams are.
Or Madison.
That's what those big teams are used to doing.
That's right.
But I mean, San Benito, they've got their hands full this week. They got East.
East and San Benito is going to be
that.
That's probably the game of the week in the district. Just matchup
well. Exactly. The hot team. I mean, they're both hot. I mean, what can you say? So Goyard is.
Oh boy, he's a workhorse.
Yeah.
How? Here's the thing. How good is East? Last year I had a hard time believing in them, and they ended up being they were very good. This year I just
champions.
Yeah, no, I just feel other than that I just feel like they're gonna have to throw the ball a little more. They just don't put the ball in the air, and that's okay if you can dominate the other team on the ground, but eventually they're gonna have to do a little bit.
And they seem to throw the ball at the end when they're down and the running game has.
And that's when you don't want to.
Yeah.
Hey, Edinburg came out the other day against Vela and threw 3 or 4 times on first down. I thought it was a good strategy. If you're looking at tendencies, cross up your tendencies. You're making a game plan because that might get you a quick touchdown because they think you're in that, and there they go, right?
So yeah, those are the big games that we have. It's should be an exciting weekend.
Here's the
to
one
say
that's
the least.
here's the one that's off our charts a little bit, but just between you and me. Ed Caps and Mission Vets.
Yeah.
I think I may go over there Thursday. You're going to be at McHi PSJA?
Yeah, definitely.
I may go to that one too.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to see Bobby Guajardo, man, from PSJA. That guy's a home run hitter.
Yeah.
He's tough.
I hope. Look, PSJA just better. I think they can
Hang in
and,
early.
Yeah, I think they can because I've seen them play this year, and they've got grit in them. They can really play.
They need the bomb early, right?
They just need to get out of whatever funk they're in right now, and I think they can do that. In the long run, I like McHi, but that's neither here or there.
Hit a deep ball early, and then you don't have to play from behind, because then you'll just get a steady dose of Ricky Rodriguez, and that's not a good thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Unless you're Kevin Brewer, that is.
Yeah.
Well, man, it's been good so far. Tonight I'm going to see EHS and North in volleyball. It's a big game. North and Sharyland right here, EHS Vela right here. The last 6 weeks are going to be incredible. And Row is, I'm not saying they run away with it, but they're far and away,
It's pretty
I think, the
good.
best team in the valley.
Yeah.
Or them and Mission Vets.
Yeah, Mission Vets.
But you know, there's some
Right on.
teams down in Brownsville that are playing good too. I'm getting fired up for this for the volleyball playoffs. We're going to find out. We're going to find out who's who, as it were.
Nice.
See if North can beat Sharyland again, or whether Sharyland turns the tables. Tonight, North got to take care of EHS, who won 5 in a row. It's going to be a good volleyball game, 7 o'clock.
There you go.
Anything else for us?
I think that's it. We've
Yeah.
covered politics, we've covered rules,
Yeah.
we've covered games.
We've covered everything, and from the Fox News Network.
Yeah.
It's terrible. All right, Greg Selber, Pete Pettis, Talking Sports. We'll see you next week. We'll have some amazing things to report. Later.